Good evening, everyone. How you all doing? I have Harry, the spiritual reefer, with I nearly said it wrong. Harry, the spiritual reefer, with us today, and also Ben of Ben's Corals.
Hello.
So,
How are we doing?
Yeah, I've noticed we've got quite a few people in already. 24 people currently watching. So, good evening, everyone. I'll just kind of go through and start running through a bit of the roll call, if you like. And we'll start off with Melinda. I don't know how you do this. It's 6 a.m. your time. You're already up and functioning. That's more than I am at 6 a.m. And I had no doubt you were online quite late last night as well. So yeah, hats off. Really appreciate you tuning in. Thank you very much.
Welcome from Australia to Australia.
And we have the one and only John Wright with us, as always. Thank you very much for tuning in, John.
Hey, John.
Who else we got? Techers, Terry. I believe I'm trying to get these names, so hopefully that's right. Yeah. I see. Look, John said hi, Terry, as well. That's good. Yeah, we've got Ben in with us. Hi, Ben.
Different Ben? Another Ben.
Red Lodge Koi. A new one. Not seen that one before. My lot. James, I want to say. Hopefully I got that right. Evening, James, or my lot, if your name's not James. An easier one then. Dan's Reef. Evening, Dan. UK 120, which is Anthony. Good evening. How you doing? Oh yeah, Melinda said she set an alarm for 5:30 in the AM. That's a bit like you, Ben, but you meant to do yours for PM. What else? Who else have we got to us? Reefing at Home, another new face. I don't think I've seen that one before.
Oh, I think I've seen Reefing at Home on TikTok before, if I'm right.
Okay, yeah, might be one of your followers come over to say hi. New Zealand Rugby or Offshore Reefer. Make sure I get that on right this time round. Hayley Barr is with us. Evening, Hayley. Jacqueline Harmon, another new face. Guessing one of yours.
Yeah. It's got a nice new Aqua One system we just set up for her, so just be filling out the corals soon.
Excellent. And then Shane Lee Ray, another new face for me, so I'm guessing one of yours.
Potentially. I try to remember as many as I can, but I'm terrible at names as it is.
It's hard, isn't it? Digital Corals, which is Tony. So evening, Tony. Doing well.
Hello, Dave. He's a good customer. He's got beautiful red C170, I tell you.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. Yeah, full of euphilia. Real nice pieces.
Excellent. And we've got Matt with us, Norfolk Reefer. How you doing, Matt?
Hi, Matt.
Yeah. Or as his alter ego.
Love honey.
Love honey.
Oh, you got it working all right.
I got it working in the end, yeah. That was very important. I got that working.
It was worth it. It worked well.
I need to record one of Rob saying Dave for introducing Dave. So evening, Dave. How you doing? We've got Lee's Reef with us as well.
Lots of familiar names popping up there. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to pull in different people as well.
Everyone wants that Goni Pora, don't they? That's what it is.
That's what it is, yeah. We've got Amanda Davidson with us. Hopefully she's drunk and in the bath. Just a running joke there. If you look at her avatar, it's like a drunk woman looking at a fish tank. Stu's Reef. And then Ryan, Welsh Reefer. Evening, Ryan.
Evening, Ryan.
Doing well. I have to get you on at some stage as well. I've been talking with Matt about getting you on, so I'm just not. He said to me, "Who's your guest next week?" I'm like, "I haven't done this week's yet. I don't know what I'm doing next week." But yeah, it would be good to get you on as well. Who else have we got? David Irwin, you mentioned him earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, Dave's a good guy.
Good evening. We've got Liam, Gills Aquarium. So, hi Liam. Being blurry probably worked in my favour. So hopefully your internet holds out for the duration. And yeah, I'm hoping you get it sorted soon. Having recently gone through this palaver, I feel your pain. I bought an EE data sim. I ended up using it for probably just over a week, but I was only getting 12 meg on the data sim, so it was very patchy. Yeah, there wasn't a lot I could do on the internet. Anyone else? Paul Starling. It's another new one. I'm guessing one of yours, Ben.
He's one of my customers. Hello, Paul. How you doing?
Yes. And then we have Reef Rondo with us. Good evening, Rob.
Good evening, Rob.
Anything you'd like to add, Rob?
I love dong.
There you go.
That caught me off guard.
Oh dear. We've got Rob with us as well. Evening, Rob. How you doing?
Evening.
I did chuckle to myself watching your video today because you seem to always get to about that midway point in your video and you say, yeah, I think that's about it. And then you tell us a whole nother load of stuff.
Easily done though, isn't it? In this hobby.
Yeah. I don't know if you know Rob, pelagic swimmer. He's got a 4 meter long tank.
Wow. I'd like to see that.
He's got a soul hole, is it? Tang that's like bigger than your head.
Lovely.
It's crazy the size of some of the fish he's got, and they all look amazing.
Is it a fish only tank or is it reef?
No, it's reef, mixed reef. Lovely. As well.
Nice.
I went back and I was watching some of his older videos recently, and I saw one of the videos, like one of the first few of the ones in that tank, and all of the rock is just bare. And it looks so strange looking at it from what it's like now because it's completely covered.
Yeah, you don't recognise how they were when they first started. They soon change.
Yeah, and it like I say, it's just such a monster tank. Yeah, really impressive.
I do miss my old 650. That was a nice tank. But unfortunately, I moved to a smaller place when I had a little one. But we've still got something. We've still got water. That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's the main thing, isn't it? As long as you've got something to keep you going.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've been contemplating, I've been looking at this gap thinking, I've got another foot of space here. I could get a 425.
Sounds like a good idea.
We'll see. See what Santa brings.
Yeah. Then we have Wakefield Reef. I think we're probably coming to the end. Just scanning through. Any more? Paul? Did I do Paul Jeffries? It's another new. I'm guessing that's one of yours, Ben. That's another new name. don't recognise that one. Hurren's Reef, which is Chris. Evening, Chris. Hope you're doing well.
Hello, Chris.
Anyone else? I think. Oh, and Reefy Reese. Evening, Reese. Hope you're doing well. So that's I think that's everyone. So do you want to give us a bit of a rundown on who you are, Ben, and you know what you're about?
So I'm an online coral shop. I've only been trading for about last 5 months or so. Been keeping reef aquariums for about 10, 15 years. I used to work in a shop local to me. That is where I learned a lot of what I know now, sorry. And yeah, it was after Aqua, I decided to set up and go and start selling corals. Everyone else was doing it, and I was like, I've caught the bug when I went there. And I was like, I just want to do this for a living, but I've taken it a bit slowly. I'm just doing it on the side at the minute. Things are going well. Got a WhatsApp group which we run competitions in, do free giveaways, all that sort of stuff, and then we've also got the website, the Facebook page, the TikTok, all that as well. So we're growing steadily but surely.
Yeah, good. And I think that was where I met you for the first time, wasn't it? You were in one of the local fish shops,
Yeah,
and
that was.
just kind of got chatting, and you said, oh, I think I was buying a sea urchin at the time, and you were saying to me then, were you, do you keep corals as well? I might be able to get you some corals. And then we just started talking from there. Actually, I came
That
over
was
to you.
very early days for me.
That was that was quite a
I don't
while
think I
ago,
even
wasn't
had
it?
business cards then or anything like that. It was very early, yeah.
Yeah. And and then I came over to see you on Sunday, I think it was,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
How
I'm
the
a bit
bit's
of
doing?
a Goni addict. So I had my eye on one that you had. It's doing really well.
Yeah.
It's out. Sometimes with Gonis it can take a few days before they come out.
You like to
But
sulk, don't they? Yeah.
I put it in there on the Sunday. Monday morning, I looked in and it was out. It was doing really well. And
Awesome. That's good. What about the barley green slimer?
the long tentacle barley green slimer is amazing.
The long tentacle.
Video you sent me, Steve, that looks stunning.
Yeah, it just stands out, doesn't it? It looks so different.
It's not very often I've heard the sentence long tentacle and acropora in the same sentence. So
Yeah. Well, I can't think of a better, very hairy barley green slimer is the only other way I think I could describe
she's
it.
fluffy. She's fluffy. That's what I call her,
Yeah.
fluffy. I just called up my supplier today actually and said I need more of them barley green slimers. They've all gone now.
Yeah. I think it just really stands out because I've got a smooth, the shaven barley green slimer. I don't know what you'd want to call it.
Yeah, smooth skin. Yeah,
and it's a different color green as well. So it's a much lighter green than the hairy variety. So yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice to have a bit of variety in there.
Yeah, I see we've got a couple more people popped in. See, Darren's with us. Evening, Darren. How you doing?
Evening, Darren. Hope you're doing well.
And Brian's Reef in with us as well.
Hello.
Another new name, Matt Hodges.
He's on this one of mine yet. Recognise that one. Hello, Matt. How you doing?
And Jamie, Reef and Teeth. How you doing, Jamie?
Hello,
Good to
Jamie.
see you here. I think Rob's got it here. One of them should be called the Brazilian barley slimer.
That right, doesn't it? That names people bring out for these things these days.
Yes.
I'm just going to slightly adjust my lens because I've got it over the corner of my camera a little bit.
Yes,
no
worries. So, how did you get into reef keeping, Ben?
So my old man has always had reef tanks. Well, I say always, until I got a reef tank, he stopped, funnily enough. But growing up, I was always helping him, hold the hose in the bucket, boy, and feel like you're getting involved and helping out. And yeah, I did a few different jobs. Like I say, I ended up in a fish shop about 8 years ago. Had tanks beforehand, so I had good experience, but ended up in there, and that's where I really fell in love with it. I would still be in the shop, but obviously it's an expensive hobby, and I needed a career as well. So I went and trained to be an electrician. But like I say, it's just been through exposure to it my whole life. It's what I love. And to be honest with you, I've never even really been that bothered about the fish. It's always been about the corals. So that's the way I went, and that's why I do what I do. And hopefully I can make something of it and one day do it for a living. That's what the goal is.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It'd be nice to open a shop one day, although I do understand that it's difficult to run a shop because of all the costs of everything is just ridiculous these days. So there's a lot more people like me popping up with the online shops and things like that, and sort of private vendors and stuff. I think it's the way that we're going to keep the industry going. Well, obviously we can save money, bring it as a bit of a cheaper hobby to people. And yeah, I think it's the only way that the hobby is going to be sustainable. So let's lead the forefront.
Yeah, good. I'm just going to see if I can load up a little video of the barley green slimer.
Yeah,
I've downloaded it. It looks like it's going to run. It's taking its time.
That opened up quite quick as well, did it?
Yes, yeah, that was really quick.
Yeah.
Let me mute that and share my screen. Let's have a look. Here we go. So this is the day after. So I think this was the Monday. And you can see there.
I'm a little bit behind, remember.
That's a good size as well. Generous
Yes.
size.
Yeah, really good size.
Yeah, that's looking really good. Really happy. Settled in nicely in it.
Yes. Yeah, it looks really good. So well pleased with that. Thank you.
Good. Oh, I'm glad you're happy, buddy. My main thing is obviously the health of the corals and making sure I'm delivering good quality corals. But ultimately customer service is my number one priority, and anyone that's in my WhatsApp group will tell you that is we have a good time in the WhatsApp group, you know, and everyone's super helpful to each other. And generally, I try to help people out more than I try to help my own business out sometimes. And sometimes I do end up screwing myself over a little bit, but ultimately it's keeping the hobby going and everyone's happy. That's the main thing.
Yeah. I see we've got Broke Reefer in with us as well from
Hey,
TikTok.
welcome.
So evening.
Hello,
How you doing?
Jade. You did say you'd be here.
There was another one. There's another one. So the elephant in the room. I was talking about having a name my cowfish stint
Oh, I saw that.
in the live. Unfortunately, I got home from work today and it was dead. So I
Yeah,
have
that's
no clue
off the
what
cards
happened.
now.
So I mean, you can name it if you like, but it's not in the
We can
tank
put it on a
anymore.
tombstone.
Yeah. I have no clue what happened. I did read up a little bit, and
It's one of the
it
things.
sounds like something that happens with them. I don't know. You know, it was fine. I fed it this morning. It's been really responsive as well. So you could put a pipette in the water and just kind of it would eat the food as you squirted it out of the pipette. It didn't seem phased by anything. It's the only thing in that tank. But yeah, just come home from work and it was dead.
How long
So,
had it
yeah,
been in there for?
I bought it Sunday.
I'm guessing the tank, did you set up before that, or was it already established? Or
It was already established. It had two pipefish in it for a really long time. Then it had two pipefish and a tamarin wrasse. And then they all moved to my main tank when I moved house.
Mhm.
Then when I caught my fox face, I put it in there to make it easier to
Yeah.
catch the second time round. So that
Yep.
was in there for a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So it's not like it was a fresh tank or anything.
No, it's not like you've had a spike or anything like that.
No,
I'm guessing
really,
you tested
really
for
strange.
ammonia and everything like that, did you? Or?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't see anything at all. Any reason
So
why?
Isn't it? Because it was so, as you say, it was so active, and in them videos, you know, it was chasing your finger and everything, and just
Yeah,
yeah.
really bizarre. So, and evening, Ryan. Sorry, I forgot that bit. Yeah, I might have missed a couple more that have popped in as well. Like, I see MS Reef is with us. Evening.
Good evening.
Did I see? I think I can't remember I shouted out for him or not, but I think Wakefield Reef is in here. So evening, Tim.
Evening.
Have we got any other comments in here? Mad cow disease. Oh God.
You was looking a bit green.
Any more? Yeah, no, unbelievable. Not a clue why it just
It's the joys of this
dead,
hobby, isn't
dead
it?
when I got home.
It's just so
Yeah, but it you know, time to move on.
yeah.
Don't want to have a downer live stream, so let's keep it upbeat.
Positivity.
Yeah. So, what else have we got? Yeah, so you were saying earlier that you've got the website, which I did
Yeah.
have up on the screen. So, you know, you have a selection of corals, and it kind of works in a pretty standard way where you can pick a coral and buy it.
Yep.
You know, nothing outrageous there. But you also, on your WhatsApp group, you have competitions as well,
Yep.
where you can buy a ticket, answer a question, and get your get in your competition, and then you pick a winner from that. Is that a fair description of how it works?
Yeah, we do it all live as well. The Lucky Wheel, we do it a Lucky Wheel way, basically. So we do that live on Band. We've got a Band page as well. The website, yeah, it's just a basic coral selling website. We were doing it as what you see is what you get, but I've been so behind on uploading on there. I've had to just say, look, I've got 6 of these frags. You're going to get one similar at the minute, but I will get back on top of it. It's just time and everything. I've got a few bits that aren't on the website yet, which I picked up on Monday night. So I've got some more torches and euphyllias and things. But yeah, the group's good because we also do the free competitions every now and again as well. So um, they're always a fun one. Get lots of entries in them, funnily enough. Um, but yeah, also the guys in there are great. I mean, there's some guys like Stuart, Kevin. I don't know if they're here watching now. There's a few of them that Dave, obviously, he's here. Really good guys, and will always help you out. And it just you could. It's a nice place to be. I genuinely love the space that I've built. It's stupid to say it like this, but yeah, it's so nice. It's refreshing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
You've got all
So
levels of reefer there as well. You've got people that are just starting out having their first ever tank, and like Jackie, for example, this isn't her first tank. She's had tanks in the past, but she's just set up a tank. One of my friends, the Key and the Corals on TikTok, you might see them. I
yeah,
hooked him up with a Neptunian 45 tank and all the gear to run it basically, and he's having a great time. He helps out in the group and stuff as well, so shout out to him. Um, but honestly, if you want to get in the group, just drop us a message on TikTok or anything. Send me a phone number and I'll get you added to the group. Just like that.
yeah, yeah. Excellent.
About 70 members strong now, I believe. So still small, but we're getting there.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's good. Just a quick plug while you're talking about groups and how many people are in them. Let me change the banner. Reefy AF. Oh, there you go. Reefy AF. Discord group run by Reef Rondo. That's in the chat. Lots of the people that are in the chat are kind of in that. I noticed 149 members.
Wow.
So yeah, we
great.
need someone to join and be number 150.
What do we win?
Some abuse from Ron.
Love it. I get enough of that from my missus.
Yeah, and as I see, Taters is one of the people from Discord, as he points out, run by Scotland's funniest coral farmer. Definitely. And I love doing that because I know he absolutely hates being called Scotland's funniest coral farmer. So, maybe there's some people out here that are just kind of fairly new to getting a tank. What would you recommend for the best kind of beginner-friendly corals?
I always say zoanthids. They're pretty bulletproof. You don't need intense lights. You don't need the best gear to run them. They can handle slightly dirtier water conditions, that sort of thing. And you can get so many different colors and options, and they just look stunning, And that's generally what I'll recommend to people. Things like zoas, mushrooms as well are another good one. Things that you can get color, you can get a bit of movement from like the zoas if you get them in flow. Obviously, the eyelashes open up nice, and just things that'll keep people in the hobby really, as well as being easy. Things that people want because when I first started, the options were this brown toadstool or this brown finger coral or this. Do you know what I mean? It was never anything mega special. Where I was seeing stuff anyway, and I just think once you start getting a bug for it and the things are easy to keep, they're thriving, they're multiplying. You're like, okay, I'm doing something right here. It motivates you to stay in the hobby. And this hobby has taken a big decline in the last sort of 5 years, 10 years. And it's just about keeping people engaged. The new members are just as important as the people that have been doing it for 15, 20 years. So again, it comes
Yeah.
back to how you treat people and stuff. But yeah, I'll always recommend, going for some soft corals generally. Like I say, stuff that keeps you excited, but soft corals, definitely a very good way to go. As you start
Yeah.
getting a little bit further, that's when I'll start saying maybe go for like a hammer or something like that, something a bit more um, you know, difficult to keep, but something that's a bit more interesting if you want to go a bit further into the hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. So, how would you say to someone that's maybe started off then with some soft corals, maybe some zoas, some
Mhm.
mushrooms, things like that. Maybe even they've got a trumpet coral or something, but they're
Yeah.
not gone any further. What kind of signs in a tank do you think people should be looking for to know when it's time to move?
Obviously, you're not going to have your sand bed completely covered in all this brown and red cyanobacterias and stuff. Your tank's starting to get more established. Your water tests are getting a lot more stable. One thing I'll say about keeping a reef tank is ultimately you've probably all heard it 1,000 times. You're not keeping the corals or the fish alive. You're keeping the water good. And if you can keep the water good and you can see the results on paper, that's when you're ready to start moving forward. Once you've got the stability in your chemistry, and you've got an established system, you've got the correct gear, the correct par, everything like that is important. Even if you just hire a par meter, make sure you've got your tank set up correctly and everything will reward you moving forward. I mean, for
Yeah,
example, this tank's set at a higher par for the top of the rocks. As you come down, it comes down to about 250 for like where the torches sit and stuff. But the difference between when I hadn't had it dialed in to when I actually got it, and because I don't have a par meter myself, I borrow one, but everything just instantly got more happy. And for example, when I set up the Coral Bay, chucked a load of lights on it, the max specs they didn't have a very great spread in my opinion. So I added a load more lights. And then I got the par meter a couple of weeks later, I think it was off my friend, and I was running 590 par, I think. Um, yeah, it was ridiculous. I was like, okay, let's tune that down before we get corals in there. So we got all that sorted and everything. But yeah, honestly, stability, getting your system stable and being able to maintain that is another thing as well. Getting a routine of your maintenance. I used to say as I was getting this tank to where it is now, I'd do a calcium test on a Saturday night, well, calcium, alkalinity, all that. Um, and then on a Sunday, I'd do a 10% water change, and I was rigorous with that, and that's
yeah,
what helped me get as established as I am. The other thing I think has been really important to the success in this system, especially, is the diversity of fauna. Once you notice you've got lots of copepods, amphipods, all that sort of stuff in your tank, everything's doing well. You know, it's established in a sense. You've got that diversity, and I think that is one of the key things is having that diversity of fauna in the tank.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted because we've got the Chuckle Brothers in the chat. Ron and Rob. Ron said he stuck a hammer in his tank, but it just got rusty.
Fuck's sake.
And then that continued on with Rob saying he nailed it. I did notice we've got a couple more in the chat as well. We've got Mo from Leicester with us, or actually lives in Bristol.
Evening, Mo.
And we've got the Southeast Reefer with us as well.
Hello.
So I'm trying to keep an eye on all these new faces as they pop up.
Southeast Reef. I haven't heard of him before. Welcome. You must be local to me.
Yeah, Southeast Reefer, reasonably local, isn't it? It's probably down down the country a little bit more.
Oh, it could be actually. Yeah, you're right. Could be like Kent way.
Yeah,
That way.
So,
oh, hello, Adam. Oh, there we go.
We've got another one of yours in there, have you?
Yeah. Like you say, you just don't know everyone by their YouTube account names and stuff, do you?
No.
Well, you probably know them by their YouTube names better than their actual names, but then I deal with people on WhatsApp, so I know them by their actual names better than their social names, if that makes sense.
I try my best to learn everyone's names, but
Yeah.
it's difficult.
It's not easy, is it?
So I think we'll have a little pause, and maybe we'll share some pictures. I'm not going to do this every live stream, but I realised that the last live stream I did, Harry missed out. Yeah, poor Harry didn't get included in the AI face swap.
I was upset. Yeah.
So I thought, how could we make up for this? I thought, who immediately comes to mind when you see Harry? It's probably not this guy.
It's so strange, especially that one.
That one is quite creepy as well, isn't it? And then another one here. And then I think the next one is possibly one of me based on something someone I work with said. Just before Philip Schofield came out, they told me I looked a little bit like a gay Philip Schofield. They're always on for a wind up, so I thought I'd do that, which is a little bit disturbing, I must admit. And then
there's multiple.
Also an apology. The offshore reefer, I managed to call the offshore reacher the other day, which I don't think he liked too much. So yeah, I made a little picture of him looking a little bit angry, daring me to call him it again. What else have I got on my list? So you talked a little bit earlier, Ben, about par in the tank and making sure you set that up right. What about water flow?
That's one of the most important things, the flow of the tank. To be honest with you, I've just changed this one a little bit, so I'm not quite happy with how this one is. But yeah, flow is essential for keeping corals alive. Not only does it deliver food and nutrients, but it also exports waste from the corals as well. Obviously, getting the right flow for the right corals is important. So don't go to a shop, look at the tank. Wow, I want that, I want that, I want that. Get home, go. We have to put it in high flow. It needs low flow. Don't do it. It's a waste of money. Get the right corals for your tank. Get your tank set up how it needs to be. But not only for the corals, for the rock structure as well. If you've got a lot of what I call a footprint of rock on the ground, a lot of rock touching the sand, you need a higher flow because there's going to be lots of dead spots where detritus will build up, it'll pollute your water. So having a high flow in that sort of tank is essential. If you've got a floating scape, for example, then you can be a bit more lax, but and angle the flow for where you need it. But flow and lighting, hand in hand, and water chemistry are the most important things.
Yeah. So would you recommend different corals for different flow?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, things like for example, in my tank here, I've got a lot of lobophilias. They don't like a lot of flow, so I keep them lower down to the sand bed, where it's a gentle flow. Whereas at the top of my tank, I've got a lot of SPS, which obviously like my acroporas and stuff, my milioporas, they're all getting blasted straight out from the wave makers. They can really handle a intense flow. You do that to some of the hammers or frog spawns, and they're just going to come straight off their skeletons and float around the tank, which I have done before years ago. I have lost a torch like that when I was a bit more of a rookie reefer. But learning the corals you're going to get, they're a living creature at the end of the day. It's important to do your research as you would for your fish to see if they're reef safe, if they inverts or whatever. Learn what flow your coral's like. If you've got a spot down here which is low flow, low light, get a coral that likes that. Don't try and adjust your whole tank to make that spot now viable because you've brought this coral on a whim, because you're going to upset 90% of the rest of your tank and just cause yourself a headache. Learn your system and learn what does well in it. I've got a lot of euphilia in mine. I've got acros, I've got lobos, and that is it. I don't really stray away from that because that's what I wanted to do. You probably were thinking they're very different flow, different lighting requirements, but I can make it work. Just about.
Yeah. Harry, Your tank.
Yes.
What have you got coral wise in there?
Anything I can fit.
Choose your
Not
corals
fussy.
wisely. Anything.
Yeah, exactly right. I think just going for diversity of colour, kind of as much as possible. I think this tank has more kind of sticks than I've had in previous tanks. I mean, there's not a whole lot, perhaps, I don't know, 20 or 30 in total. So it's in a 5-foot tank. So it's not, not a crazy amount, but as
Fill
soon
out. They'll
as it's
soon fill out.
filling out, yeah. I'm hoping that'll be a nice little rainbow behind me. I love my LPS as well, and even like I've got a big rock of GSP, few mushrooms about. So yeah, I'm not fussy when it comes
Very
to
mixed reef.
Yeah.
To be honest, I used to be
that's
very
good.
mixed reef. Just buy like, oh, I like that. I've got a spot I can put that in. Let's get it and just buy that. Whatever. I'd have all
Yeah.
sorts of chalices. I'd have A cans and everything. But when I restructured this tank, I was like, right. I really planned what I wanted to do in a way. Like I've literally just brought my last torch yesterday or the day before, and I was like, right, that is my last torch. I know where I'm going with it. I know I don't want any more. I've got a few more things I want to get. I want to fill the sand bed up with Lobos, but then I'm pretty much there. I've replaced some of these acros as well at some point, but for a few more special ones. It's generally how I kind of work. I'll grow them out for a bit and replace it with a higher end one. So
Nice.
kind of what started the idea of the shop, to be honest.
Yeah. I must admit, when I left you on Sunday, I called in at my local fish shop because I thought, oh, I'll pick up that cowfish, and when I was in there, I saw a coral and I thought, oh, I really like that. I need to just make that work.
Yeah.
So yeah, I picked up this. Ooh, what did I do there? That one. There we go. Yeah, so I picked up this on my way back as well, which the pitch doesn't actually do it justice. I've been playing around with my camera trying to get some nice pictures, and yeah, I've got a bit more work to do on it, I think.
It's got purples and oranges and greens in it though, I look at a lot of coral. I can tell it's got a lot of colour in that.
Yeah, it was really, really, it really stood out to me. So yeah, I treated myself to that.
Was that in Colchester, was it?
Yeah, that was Reef Exotics.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, and we were talking about the hobby kind of declining a little bit. They've just announced that they're expanding. They're doubling the size, or more than doubling the size of their shop. They're doing really well. So
isn't that mainly for freshwater though?
So I think what the main plan is they're going to move all of the trops and cold water into the new building, and then expand the marine in that one. So I don't think they're going to expand the marine by as much, but
it's got plenty in
they're
there
not
already,
going to get rid of it. Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot. He's got
like 6 coral tables there, or 7 coral tables.
Yeah, something 5 or 6, I think. Reasonably big coral tables, and then a wall of fish and inverts. So he's got quite a bit already.
Yeah, he's got a good range of dry goods up there as well, to be honest. Very good section of dry goods.
Yeah. Sorry, I've been reading the comments. I don't know if that's a question you can answer, Harry.
I might pass on that one. Yeah.
Double it and give it to the next guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gonna try get my tank a bit more in shot. Show it off a little bit more.
Wow.
I think you might just be shaking them too hard, Ron, if they're getting bruised.
Take it slow. Yeah.
I noticed. Have you got that bright green Goni that was in there? That neon green.
I've taken the Gonis out.
That?
I've taken them out. Yeah. To be honest, one of them was meant to be in there as I was doing a Goni garden, but I decided against the Goni garden. I wasn't. I wasn't doing that. I changed my mind on it. So I put frog spawns in the middle and the end instead. I did have some nice encrusted Monties on there for the longest time, Harry. but I've just ripped all of them out because I got bored of them and wanted a band of something moving across the middle. So obviously I've got the torches on the right, on the left I've got like the hammers and stuff, and I did put Gonis in the middle, but they didn't last. I just took them straight out, put them in the shop, and then put some frog spawns in instead. So
Yeah, nice. I must admit, I wasn't expecting some of my my sticks to encrust quite as much as they have. So I'm thinking of digging out the calc paste at some point, because I think it's just going to get too much.
some of these acros in here are just absolutely blown up recently. Like one of them's got an acro crab on him. I don't know if you know anything about acro crabs, but he coming on an import, and they're really beneficial to the
The
colony.
little white ones, are they?
Correct, yes.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 frags of exactly the same thing, and one's got the acro crab on it and one hasn't. I don't know if you can really
Nice.
see it in the video, but one's twice the size of the other, basically.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. They've been literally 10 centimeters apart from each other, same flow, same light,
Yeah.
for same amount of time, and
Works.
one's just twice the size.
Yeah.
But they do
Nice.
say if you import them with one and then you dip it and take it off, sometimes the coral will die because they're so used to having that better water flow and over the tissue and that, and it also helps it produce a better mucus coat as well, slime coat on the coral, because it agitates them. But they're really beneficial. If I could get a load of them, I would.
Southeast Reefer asked Ben, are you getting any of those scollies in? I'm assuming he means the aquaculture ones.
Yeah, I've seen them. No, I'm not planning on it at the moment. Well, to be honest, no, I haven't. No, I'm not looking into them at the moment. No, unfortunately,
No.
I am looking.
I
into
think they're
getting
very
some-
expensive at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, the problem is I've got to cater to my customers at the moment in a way. So if I start getting very expensive stuff in that my customers don't really want, I mean, I occasionally get like the holy grails in and stuff like the expensive torches because I know torches do well in my group. But I have had a couple of people asking about Scollies now. This is the second person that's asked, so maybe I'll look into it. Never say never.
Yeah. Never say never, but they're damn expensive. You might want to get an order and a deposit before you order one in.
Yeah, I might have to. Go get a loan out to get some of them.
Yeah. So Reefing at Home says, question for anyone. Is there a rule of thumb for what type of corals you can acclimate via tipping a few cups of water into the floating bag and which you must drip acclimate? Well, I think I would agree with Darren. I tend to empty the water into a container with the coral in, add some of whatever I'm going to use for dipping, put it in there and use a turkey baster to kind of flow it all around the coral for 5 or 6 minutes. And then I'll take the coral out, rinse it off in a bit of salt water, and then put it in the tank. So I'm not really acclimating at all. I don't know, Harry, what kind of approach do you take?
I'd agree with that. I think the coral is kind of gone through the stresses of shipping as is. That water, I think it's fine to use that to do the dip, as you say. And then from the dip, I put them into a bowl of kind of fresh seawater from the tank. And then, from there, straight into the tank. So as you say, there's essentially no acclimation, really. The corals are going to be pretty upset in that dip as is. So, I don't think there's any harm in then getting them into a good environment as soon as possible, nice and low down in the tank, as to not kind of shock them with too much light. I think you hit a nail on the head.
Yeah. Ben, do you take the same?
Yeah, no, I literally get the corals in, float them in a tank, get them up to temperature if they've been in a cool box or polybox, sorry. Get them up to temperature, put them all in a bucket, cut the bags open, dip, done, in the tank.
Yeah.
Never had a problem doing that. Never had a problem, so.
I see we've also got the one and only Leroy with us, one-armed reefer. Good evening, Lee. I hope you're doing well. Hope your eyes all better now, and you've learned not to do that again. If you haven't already, guys that are watching, check out Lee's YouTube channel. He has got a lot of tanks and a very interesting basement. His basement is one big sump. Really crazy. Some of the setup he's got, really fantastic. Worth going and checking him out. and seeing some of his videos. Really good. What else? Where's my notes gone? Let me get my notes back up.
Just in Norfolk Reefer ask what we dip in. I was just going to say I use the Red Sea dip, but I do it at half a dose and for half the time because it's blooming strong stuff, that Red Sea dip. And some of the SPS do not enjoy it. And I was talking to one of my suppliers who also used it before I did, and he was like, "Yeah, I've had acros just strip from the dip, and that's at the correct measurements at the correct times." So me and my supplier, we both run them at half time at half dose, and had great success with that.
Yeah. Okay.
That is only the Red Sea one I can vouch for on that.
Yeah. What about you, Harry? What dip are you using?
I just use iodine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think keep it simple. I think, well, I say a dip's a dip, but I'm not experienced enough and used enough of them to know otherwise. So I've got pretty limited experience in that regard. I think iodine's perhaps a more gentle dip, a more natural dip than others, possibly, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. So I mean, I've again, I'm certainly no expert here. I've used iodine before if I've got something with a bit of damage on it, maybe to help promote healing.
Yeah.
But I normally, for my pest control dip, I normally use 2 Little Fishies Revive, which seems to work pretty well for me.
I'm just seeing someone else said that Reefy Reese Red Sea dip caused rapid tissue necrosis on 4 of my SBS frags last time. So there you go, from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. Yeah, you do not want that.
No, definitely not. Get home, get some nice frags, let's dip them, get them in the tank. Oh, they're dead. Brilliant.
Yes. Right, where did let me undo that comment. Have we got any others in here from anyone? People speculating as to what is in Lee's basement. I won't put any of those up. Norfolk Reefer. You can't see me. I thought I'd highlight Ben's tank because it's a bit more interesting. And of course, you guys are trying to make me laugh. Ron's sending me pictures of himself and all sorts, trying to catch me out and make me start laughing while I'm on the live stream. So with this up, I don't need to worry about it too much. I can have a little smirk and no one can see.
Reefing at home just put, has anyone used household Dettol like your mum used to put on grey skin in the 1990s? And that's the second time I've heard that in 2 days.
I used to use Dettol.
Did
A
you?
little while back. Yeah, I can't remember what dosage I used to use, but I did used to use it.
I couldn't do it.
Worked pretty well.
I just couldn't do it.
Which is just like spread it all over the coral.
So you just spray it over the worktop and wipe it off, don't you normally? But don't know if it's the same with coral.
Well, the Dettol that
like in the bath, in the washing machine, everywhere.
I don't know whether, because Reefing at Home was saying Dettol like you put on grazed skin, which was a cream.
No.
Yeah, I don't know whether I'd want to be rubbing that on the corals, but.
Oh yeah, that's right. Aaron's Aquarium used to use Dettol. Just seen Southeast Reefer say that in the chat.
Dave used to use Dettol as well. Was it you that I was talking to about the other day? It might have been you, Dave, that was speaking to about it.
Yeah.
I remember I speak to so many people.
I see Jason's with us as well, Sleeveless Reefer.
Good evening, Jason.
Joining us from the US of A.
Welcome. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. He's my Nopox brother.
Your what?
Nopox brother. We've both nearly wiped out a tank by putting too much Nopox in.
Yep. Well, we can call it a triplet then, can't we? Because I've almost done the same.
Yes.
Actually, I think I was telling you the other day about it, weren't I? When I started this tank out and moved over from the 170, I had a bit of a high nitrate phosphate situation, disturbing everything. And I was using the higher dose of 3 mil per 100 litre, which worked out at 7.5 mil, I think it was, on this tank. And I forgot to turn it down after a month and go, "Oh, things aren't looking to grow a lot. What the hell's going on here? Why can't I get my nitrates up?" And they're sitting at 0, and I'm feeding so much food. I was feeding like 6-7 times a day. I'm like, I cannot believe I've got no nitrates.
So
Same
yeah,
here.
I'll share with you the selfie that Ron sent.
Is it PG?
Go on, there we go. There we go.
Oh, he looks well. Yeah.
I've got one from Matt as well. What's Matt sent me? Oh, funnily enough, he sent me a selfie as well. Oh. Come on, there we go.
Excuse me.
Oh dear, I don't know. With all these pictures I've got of them of AI altered pictures, you think they wouldn't be sending me pictures like that?
They're just teeing themselves up, aren't they?
Yeah,
Giving
just
you
give
some
me an
content there.
excuse to fire them off.
I think I'm quite glad none of these people have my number.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll hold off from giving some of these people mine.
Yeah, well, I'm getting it in Discord, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, text message.
Can't see what's going on my phone right now. Got my iPad here with the chat on it, and that's all I can see.
Yeah, that's probably the best way. So, dosing, Ben, what are you using for dosing at the moment?
I dose the Red Sea 4-part program. I have been basically since it come out, and it is phenomenal. The growth and coloration that you get from it, if you get it stable, well, when you get it stable, is amazing. I don't recommend listening to Red Sea on their calculator. It is not accurate at all. That I've found in my experience, and a few other people I spoke to have agreed. Um, but if you do it by your calcium and alkalinity together, don't necessarily run it in their ratio. For example, the Coral Bay is well out of ratio. I'm doing like 18 mil of alkalinity to 4 mil of calcium or something. Um, but that's still settling down. That will balance out. This tank is in ratio. Um, but obviously, yeah, the trace elements and everything, it gets the full package. It's awesome stuff. I recommend doing ICP tests once every 1 to 3 months, just to keep an eye on the trace elements and everything. I use the HANA testers for alkalinity, nitrate, and phosphate. And then I use Red Sea for calcium, magnesium. I dose Reef Energy every day as well at 6 p.m. The skimmer turns off for half an hour. It gets pumped into the sump, goes up to the display, and goes round for 30 minutes till everything comes back on. Other than that, I run some phosphate removers, some GFOs, usually Roaphos or whatever I can get my hands on normally. Um, I have to dose liquid nitrate, so I mix potassium nitrate with RO and make that myself. Because my nitrates drop probably, I think drop faster than I can watch them, to be honest with you, but I have to dose probably about 5 parts per million a week of nitrates in both systems. Other than that, it's a pretty basic setup. I used to run no pox until I didn't need it. Until
Yeah,
it just caused me more problems than it was worth. But like I say, nitrates drop in this tank anyway, so it's only phosphates that creep up occasionally if I do a few heavy feeds and stuff. But
yeah,
yeah, other than that, it's pretty simple. I've got a filter roller on this system. I've got a filter roller on the other system. I've got a skimmer on both, and I dose them. And they've both got a phosphate reactor, which I just use as and when I need it.
yeah. So I see Lee's asking, have you had any issues with the ALK bottle? Few people have said it's been solid in the bottom.
Yeah, so what you need to do is get a little heat pad and put a little thermostat on it. And you'd have to double check. I think you want to keep it about 25 degrees. I personally haven't had any issues with it, but that's what I've read. You have to do if that is the case. Only thing I will say with the ALK is on the outlet, make sure you clean it once a week where it closes into the tank, because that does block up. That gets real plugged. And if you're like my friend, it will block up and blow a hose off and look like someone's made a mess up the wall, should we say?
Oh dear.
But other than that, yeah, the alk does settle if it gets too cold, I believe it is, and it will go hard. But yeah, just what people are saying, get a little reptile heat pad, heat mat, little thermostat, and get it about 25 degrees, and you'll be sound.
Yeah. God.
Dan's
Sorry.
just said, do you find your calcium runs super high while your magnesium falls off a cliff with 4-part? I find the opposite. I find the calcium drops and the magnesium raises, but after a few months of running it, that does balance out. It's all about building up your levels and getting stability over time.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, good. So I've been toying with the idea of actually, I can't get it because it's buried under a load of stuff, but I've got the medium-sized 4-pack of the Red Sea 4-part stuff, and I've really been tempted. I'm still running H2P Reef Sediments at the moment. I'm almost out, so I've run out of part 2, which is universal, I think they call it now. I've got complete and pH plus left, so I'm dosing magnesium and calcium manually. So that's what's in the universal that I've run out of, while I'm using up that last bit. But I've got another dosing solution to try, a 3-part solution. So no details as yet, but I'm hoping that arrives in the near future, and I'll put out a few videos on that. Looks quite interesting. So yeah, be good to try that and see how it works.
Have you got like a reason other than curiosity for wanting to try another dosing system?
So when I started using the Reef Elements because I was trying to kind of smooth out my pH graph to try and just kind of make it a bit more consistent. What I actually ended up doing was probably keeping a very similar amount of fluctuation, but moving it above 8 pH basically. So I then thought, okay, so I'm not seeing the smoothed out pH benefit that I was expecting from Reef Elements, and my local fish shop has got a display tank in it that they are running on exclusively the Red Sea 4-part, and it looks amazing.
Oh, it
It looks
does.
like it's doing really, really well. So
Since you started using it, it's just popped, hasn't it?
yeah, it really has. It's really taken off in growth, in color, in everything, in every way.
I've changed to the Red Sea on here as well, the 4-part.
Okay.
From one that I was enjoying otherwise before then, but wasn't able to get stock of. And the Red Sea 4-part on here, since changing, I've seen it grow like never before. Like I've had really, really good results. I do run Kalkwasser alongside the 4-part, which took a little while to kind of tune both of those in. I wouldn't imagine that was recommended by Red Sea. So yeah,
Sure. They don't recommend using anything other than Red Sea, do they?
Well, there you are. Maybe they'll release their own. But yeah, dosing both of those, the growth I've seen in here is ridiculous. My pH is constantly above 8, and yeah, having really, really nice growth at the minute. Trouble is, my Aptasia is also growing really, really nicely as well.
Yeah.
I will say that anyone you speak to about this Red Sea 4-part, I mean, I've spoke to a lot of people. I do a bit of tank maintenance and installs and stuff like that, but I've installed it on a few, and they'll send you a picture 2 weeks later and be like, "Really? Already?" You're like, "Yeah, it's that quick." Everyone is saying the same things, and everyone, like yourself, is obviously switching over to it. And if they're not, they're following like Steve.
So yeah, interestingly, Jamie was saying, and this is, I think, the thing that holds it back. It is insanely expensive.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Just buy the biggest bottle you can. It works out cheaper.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I've just bought the 900-litre bottle, or not 900-litre bottle, the 900-litre tank kit for the 250.
Yeah. No, I think that's right. And like I said, I was speaking the other night with a supplier that is doing this 3-part. I think if that works, it works in a similar way. If it's as good, it will be a cheaper way of achieving the same thing, I think.
Yeah.
So quite interested to have a bit more of a look at that as well.
I think it's really important to take photos of your tank when you do drastic changes like that. Take a picture of how it looks. When everything's really open and happy, don't take a picture when everything's like just closing up for take a good picture of your tank, what you're really happy with now, let's say, if you're starting tomorrow. And then tomorrow, for example, not tomorrow, so 3 months time, 6 weeks time, something like that. Take a picture of your tank again and just see the results. Even do it every
Yeah.
week to see how it's changing, because you'll know what the growth was like, the coloration was like before, and you'll see the changes from what it started to where it finished. So
Do you know, it's
really important thing
interesting
to
you
do.
say that, Ben, because when I switched over to the Red Sea, it's about when I started my YouTube channel. So
Okay.
is in reality the difference that I'm noticing is that because my tank is now kind of, I've got images and videos of it kind of from when I started dosing the Red Sea to now, whereas before, I'm walking past it every day, seeing it every day.
Yeah.
So that might have something to do with it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I think at the end of the day, most dosing systems have gone through God knows how much testing and whatever, and I think they probably do a good job. But yeah, it's just something I noticed when changing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's always a positive when you hear the same thing from a lot of people, though, isn't it? Because it gives you faith in a product.
Yeah, absolutely.
When everyone's singing off the same sheet saying, this stuff works, well, you'd be stupid not to join in, really.
Yeah.
Come on, Steve, get to Team Red Sea.
yeah.
I'm a bit of a
So,
Red Sea fanboy, if you can't tell.
yeah. So I mean, I've got an Apex, and that's the biggest thing that puts me off of all the Red Sea stuff. Is you
Yeah.
can't connect it to Apex, so
No.
you can't even monitor anything. So I basically the only thing Red Sea in my tank apart from the glass and the cabinet are the lights.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
And that's just because I haven't bought other lights yet, and that they're doing all right. I'm not such a fan of how blue they are. But
So I run mine all blue all day, other than 4 hours where I'll run a real intense period of white. So 4 hours of intense white, and that's when I'll set my path for that time. But the rest of that, I just run all blue, just because I think it makes the corals look so good.
yeah, and it's horses, of course, isn't it? Everyone has slightly different preferences. So
Yeah, sure.
I'm not such a fan of the blue. I love how it makes the corals look, but I think the fish coloration you lose a little bit with it as well. Then so it's a bit of a balance. I quite like a slightly whiter. I mean, it's not bad at the moment how that is there, but it won't be much longer before that starts to kind of rapidly go very blue. So yeah, I'm not a massive fan of the blue. But yeah, Norfolk Reefer said, am I looking at a 3-part with traces? No, the 3-part is KH, calcium, and magnesium. And then I'll add traces to it. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm going to give it a little try and see how it works out. But yeah, an interesting way of calculating it all. I'll do a video on it at some point as well. It's a bit newer, not out there a huge amount, but should be interesting.
I think I spoke to the guys at Aqua that were bringing that out. I think I spoke to them, had a good chat with them. It does sound like
they were at Aqua, yeah.
Yeah, it does sound good.
What have we got? Any other comments? So Tim was saying we need to try the Wakefield Reef method for dosing. It's very cheap. I believe, like Rob, if you imagine Rob, I don't know if you're still listening or whether you've fallen asleep, but I don't know how many litres is your tank. I know bloody big is how I'd describe it. It's 4 meters long, 1 meter front to back,
swimming pool.
Yeah, and like 700 centimeters high or something. So that's a lot of water. I know he goes through 2 boxes of salt per month, I think. So then you start to add up the costs. So yeah, he's saying 3,000 litres.
Wow.
Water. A 10% water change is more water than my tank's got in it.
Yeah, me
too. So then you start to put that into perspective, and that's very expensive. So then when you're, imagine how much it would cost him to run the Red Sea method. That would be insane. So he makes a lot of his own chemicals and dosings and things in his tank. So he's a bit of a clever fucker like that. And I think Tim is doing the same. I know Lee, One Arm Reefer, he's looking at making a lot of his own as well, just to make it a bit more cost effective.
It works out so much cheaper if you can make stuff yourself. Like I say, I do the nitrate myself, but that's it at the moment. But it does work out cheaper. The 3,000 litres, I think it'd cost you, I've just worked out in my head, I think it'd be like £180 a month on dosing. And that's a Red Sea's recommended level. If you've got a really stocked reef, then that's going to be different, isn't it? But
yeah, and it is a pretty significantly stocked tank as well, coral and livestock.
Yeah. No, just see this tank at some point, I think.
Yeah. Well, take a look at his YouTube channel. The tank is amazing.
Yeah. To be fair, I've probably seen it before. I'm terrible with names.
Yeah. So his one, I think all of his videos are titled like week 139 maintenance video. Right. And I remember when I first started trawling, getting the video suggested by YouTube, I thought it's not a very exciting title. But it's great content, and it's got a dry sense of humor as well, which I love. So yeah, it's good to go. And I don't go a week without watching these videos. So
nice. I'll have to check them out.
Yeah. So John Wright's saying, what does everyone feed their corals? Go on, Harry. Lead us out.
Go on, Harry.
I feed a big old mixture. I would like to do it every day, but I don't get around to it. But generally speaking, I'll put a couple of cubes of brine shrimp in a little glass, and then I'll put in some AB+, and then I'll do 3 of the reef nutrition products. So I'll do the real organic eggs, the oyster feast, and the phyto, which isn't live phyto. And then some tank water, mix it all up, and then target feed if I can be bothered. Otherwise, I just pour it in the tank, turn the filters off for a little while, and let them at it. So quite a variety, but they certainly don't get that treatment as often as maybe they should.
Yeah, I think it's important not to do that too much, but I mean, it is very important to give a variety. I used to do a similar thing where I'd mix like a bit of reefroids in, I'd mix 3 or 4 different types of frozen foods, and I'd go around target feed with that. You'd have your reef energy in there. You'd have, I feed, but nowadays I feed the aminos every day, reef energy every day. That's on a dosing pump. But I've gone over from reefroids to the Benepets version. If you've tried that, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's slightly cleaner than reefroids in the phosphate department, and it's also got slightly larger particles in it. So for your torches, hammers, your big meaty boys at the bottom, they appreciate that a lot more. But then you can still get things like your Gonis and your SPS, still plenty of fine food in there as well. So that is the main one I'm using these days, to be honest with you. Obviously still doing frozens. I mix my feeds up between frozens and pellets though. I do coral pellets. I do the Reef Nutrition TDO Chroma Boost. That's what I feed all my fish, but I'll occasionally target feed my corals with that as well. Just because it's got such good values in it and stuff, but it's quite expensive. But the fish look great for it. They really do. And I'm not one to appreciate fish that much, but they do look great after I've changed over to that food.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I mean, my system runs very, very clean, hence kind of the heavy in. But yes, that's doing well at the moment. So
yeah,
stick with it.
What about you, Steve? What are you feeding?
I haven't really been feeding the corals much. I not so long ago I decided I took my refugium out. Then I decided to take out my carbon. So I took all my carbon out. And then most recently I also took out all of my GFO. So I don't run any carbon, any GFO, no fuge, and I don't add no pox. So there's generally, a reasonable amount of nitrate and phosphate in the tank that they're feeding off of.
Hmm.
From time to time, I put a bit of phyto in, or I'll put some reef energy in every now and then. Not very often, maybe once or twice a month at the very most.
Hmm.
And then every now and then I'll get a little pot, and I'll put a little tiny amount of reefroids in, a bit of phyto, bit of tank water, kind of mix that up, and I've got a really long pipette that I'll then target feed some of the corals. I stopped doing that for quite a while because my cleaner shrimp were just complete dicks and would go and like rip the coral apart trying to get the food out of it.
Yeah.
But when I had the tank death of the great tank death of 2024 Christmas quiz, where we were doing the end of the year quiz on the Reefers Network, and my tank slowly dying behind me, I lost both my cleaner shrimp. So I haven't bought any more. I haven't bought any other kind of shrimp. So I'm kind of at that point now where I could start to target feed again.
So what's your main form of nutrient export then, if you're not doing any like GFOs or no pox or anything like that? What are you doing? Just relying on water changes and that sort of thing, or you
I
quite
do
a light feeder?
10% water change a week. I've
Yeah.
got a skimmer in there which is pulling out quite a bit. I've got a reef mat which is pulling out quite a bit.
Hmm.
My nitrates. Where's my book? My daughter bought me a book for Christmas.
Oh,
Hopefully,
nice.
there we go.
Lovely.
So, what was my last test? So my last one, my nitrate was 14.6 and my phosphate was 0.19.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, phosphate's a little high, but I wouldn't be grumbling about it. They're both reasonable levels, yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
generally
it
try to
took
keep
a
my
long
nitrates
time to
under
get
20.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we said, Steve, we could do with swapping some water, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway. Ben, do you I can't remember if you said, sorry, do you target feed?
Oh, what, sorry?
Do you target feed, or is it just a broadcast?
No, I do target feeding. I don't do it as often as I probably should, to be honest with you, but especially with the Lobos and stuff, I really try to get them a good
I
bit
mean,
of
they look great.
protein. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, a lot of them I haven't had for long, to be honest with you. I've recently kind of gone to town with like, right, I'm going to fill the sand bed. Let's
Yeah.
go. So I got, see if I can show you a bit better. I don't know what the quality is like on the camera, but so that pink and gold one there,
Yeah.
I got that at Aqua last September.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one. And then I had that one, the longest one I've had. Obviously, you can
Yeah.
tell,
Nice.
huge. I've got the fuzzy over there, which I've had probably about. I got it quite big to be fair, but it's doubled in size since it's been in there, I reckon. That's probably been in there for about 2 or 3 months, and then I've got a few smaller ones which are recent additions. So
Yeah.
across the front. I was going to a macro lens now. What's it doing? Sorry, my camera's messing around. Oh, brilliant. 2 seconds, guys. Sorry about the technical issues. Yeah, and there you go. There's the last 3 round there.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
some of them I haven't had very long,
Some
but
good
they're
variety.
doing well. Yeah,
I
that's
find
one
it can
thing I
be
try to
quite
do
hard
is
to
just go.
find that variety with them.
Yeah, I love the Lobos and the Symphilias, to be honest with you. They're one of the things that recently I've just fell in love with, to the
Yeah.
point where I'm messaging all these people like, you got Lobos in stock, blah, 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 on Facebook or wherever I'm seeing it. And then I get a message back saying, you realise we don't ship from Germany, right? I haven't even looked because I'm just, right, I want that coral. I've done it twice now. I did it with a guy in America and a guy in Germany.
What do you do different between your display tank and your kind of grow out or frag systems? Are you feeding kind of the same? Are you running the same dosing and everything?
So I'm running the same dosing exactly. I'm running exactly the same gear, other than I'm
Yeah.
running a Clarity instead of a Red Sea
Yeah.
filter roller.
Nice.
Just because I got that really cheap, to be honest with you. But yeah, literally everything's exactly the same. Feeding is a lot lighter on the coral system. I've only
Yeah.
got 2 fish in there. I've got a big purple tang and I've got a blue-eyed coal tang. So I don't feed it as heavy as I feed the fish in this system. I feed this system with, like the fish, I feed 2 or 3 times a day, whereas that one I'll only feed once a day. I'll do nori for the fish. But for the corals, they get the reef energy, the same as this tank every day.
Mhm.
I try to do the benepets every well 2 or 3 times a week, basically, which both tanks get exactly the same. Genuinely, they are pretty similar. Parameters, everything. The phosphate creeps up in that one a little bit quicker for some reason. I think the flow isn't as good in that system, but it's just about trying to keep so many corals happy. It makes it a bit difficult. Um, but yeah, literally, I tried to when I started up the coral system, I was like, right, this tank has done well with the gear I've got. I'm really happy with the system. I'm going to carbon copy it because if it's not broken,
Mhm.
don't fix it. You know, the only thing I regret doing is buying the max spec lights instead of Red Sea lights, but I
Yeah.
will change them over shortly. I'm sure of it.
Interesting.
But we can go have a look in there if you like. We can go have a look at the frag system.
Yeah. So while you're sorting that out,
Yeah.
I'll put us back to everyone view. There we go. And just say hi to Master Onion, Tom. Evening, Tom. Hope you're doing
Good
well.
evening, Tom.
And
Helen.
I also noticed that someone was asking about your stuff, Harry. So yeah, your website there, Marine
Hi.
Spec, and I think it was Darren, and he was talking about Phyto. I think so. You can see
Oh
here
yeah,
your Phyto.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Darren, pop me a message. I'll sort you some out.
yeah, I think that's what he was talking about. I've tried to kind of flick through the chat to find out. I know I can't remember yeah. So it's somewhere in there. I'm pretty sure it was Phyto that he was looking at,
Oh,
and obviously your sexy 3D printed stuff, which I
well,
don't know
now I've handed my notice in. I'm hoping to kind of go on that, and there should be quite a lot of new things popping up. And yeah,
See, I've got one sat in my tank there at the moment.
nice.
Are you big into your 3D printing then, are you, Harry?
Do you know what? I was just hearing some funny noises coming from the printers and thinking, should I go and have a little look?
Is it making spaghetti?
Quite possibly. I've not got a camera on that one, so who knows? Who knows? Anna is up there. I'm hoping she might intervene. She should be watching. So, Anna, go and have a look for me, will you? Thank you.
Always made me
Quite
chuckle.
badly,
You got the message.
Yeah, it made me chuckle when we were doing the coral name game with Ron, and you messaged me and you said, "Anna's just said, what the hell are you watching?"
Yeah, bless her. Bless her.
Right.
Kind of come in here as the lights are starting to ramp down, which ain't ideal, but you still get an
Well,
idea of what I do anyway.
Yeah. So this is your kind of sail tank, yeah. Where
Yeah,
you
so this is all stuff
stock.
which is on the WhatsApp group, it's on the website, apart from some of these torches and hammers I haven't managed to get up yet, but I try to have a good selection of different colours of each thing I get and a good selection of different what's the word? Just a good selection in general, really, I guess. Here's the red Gonis that one of you could win tonight. One of, shall I say? Not all of them. Got some really long tentacle ones at the back there, Steve. You might like them. They only put up
Oh
about
yeah,
10 centimeters tall in the end. They're a really tall one.
yeah, they look
There's
nice.
the highlighter ones as well at the back, the yellow highlighter ones.
Yeah,
And then obviously I've got all my softies here as well. So that's sort of the SPS into LPS into softies. And then we've also got all your sticks at the back as well. As you can see,
What are
we've got
your
a bit of
nutrients
everything.
in there again?
So my nitrates, I try to keep them about 10.
Yeah.
They usually drop to about 5 over the course of a week, and then I'll just hit them manually, dose it up with a 5 parts per million dose. And then, yeah, my phosphates generally sit at about 0.08, so a
Yeah.
little bit higher than some others, but again, not too bad really. Alkalinity, I try to go for about 8.3 normally. At the minute, I'm still getting it dialed in. Like I say, it's gone down over 4 days, over 4 days, it's gone down 0.1 of a DKH. So we're getting pretty stable now with the old ALK. Calcium around the 420 mark generally.
Yeah. Nice.
Magnesium, I don't look at that often, I'll be honest. You can usually tell when you've
Yeah.
got a magnesium issue.
So other than, we talk about the Goni that you're going to do as the giveaway today. So if you do win it, you have to pay postage, but that's
Correct.
it.
Yeah. That's £15
Um,
flat rate mainland UK. Unless you want it delivered on a Saturday, it'd be £20.
yeah. Okay. Excellent. So if someone wins that, what kind
Yep.
of key things should they be checking in their tank and monitoring, and for keeping it healthy? What's important?
So Goni's like good flow. That's an important one. So having them in a moderate to high flow area. Parameter wise, again, it comes back to stability, not necessarily chasing a number, but having stable water. One thing Gonis do love is manganese. Now, you'll tell if a tank's being dosed with manganese or not by looking at their Gonis. So, um, I recommend if you're having a lot of Gonis or spending a lot of money on Gonis, do an ICP test once a month or every other month and dose manganese, because I don't believe, off the top of my head, someone might correct me if I'm wrong, there's no at-home test kits for manganese. Um, so it's something you'll need to do an ICP for. I might be wrong on that, but I haven't found one yet.
I see Lee's asking if can the winner collect it?
The winner can collect it. If you're
Yeah.
local to Ipswich or fancy driving to Ipswich, then yeah, feel free.
There you go.
There's a little view of some of our.
Yeah, you got to
Oops,
love the
there
top down
anyway.
view, haven't you?
Yeah. Some of these Anacondatas, man, are stunning. They're getting some orange and greens coming through and all sorts. And sort of chalices that have got orange eyes, they're getting loads of green come out in them as opposed to the red as well. So they're really nice. There's one of
You
the
got them
Gonis we
really
took the other
bright.
day.
Yeah, the really bright Gonies.
So bright, I can't even picture them. They're ridiculous. They're a short
Yeah.
tentacle though. You've got the Inferno Goni at the back there as well. We got plenty really. I did have to. I was. I did a big sale on Monday. I was like, right, I want to go to my suppliers at the end of the week and get a load of new bits in. Did a massive sale on Monday, and then started posting it all out Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. I was like, oh, I need more stock for this live stream tonight to have the tank looking good. So I went out on Monday night at about 8:30, drove an hour to my suppliers, didn't get home till about 10, acclimating stuff, get it in the tank, just trying to have some stuff to show off, really. So some things are still settling in, really, but yeah, no, it's going well. The system is getting more and more stable. Like I say, each week I'm getting it more and more dialed in. So it's not been running mega long in the grand scheme of things, 4 or 5 months, something like that. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
difficult with a frag system that's got stuff going in and out all the time, as you can appreciate, because you've got stuff going in and out all the time. You've got different consumptions every week. So getting it stable really is a challenge.
Have you got media under the racks there?
No,
Is that just a reflection? You've got rock in the sump.
I've got a load of rock in the sump. Yeah, to be honest, I need to sort this out a little bit. I was gonna put all the live rock actually under the racks because I've just kind of started doing it. I'm turning this into a bit of a Zoa grout. And then I've got a bit of a recovery rack on this side as well, with things that are just bouncing back from whatever off shop floor, shall we say? But yeah, so I want to ideally I need to modify that last chamber in my sump because the water goes under the last baffle as opposed to over it, which means I've got like a 2 foot by 1.5 foot section which fluctuates up and down with evaporation, as opposed to if I block the bottom up and have it flow over the top, it'll only be that last little chamber that evaporates, and then I'll have a more stable salinity throughout the day, sort of thing, as opposed to it having to drop, I don't know, a litre, for example. It has to drop 200 mil before it kicks in. So, and that way also I can have that stable level chamber where I can put frags, corals, grow out, whatever. So
Yeah.
hopefully get some tiles with some nice encrusted Monties on them and stuff. That way it can be a bit cheaper for everyone as well. So works out well if I grow them out myself.
Yes. Yeah. Excellent. So I think we're at that point where we can start and open the competition. So we just
People need to have been listening.
Yeah, we just had Ben say the magic word, talking about how to look after Gonis. He mentioned one particular trace element. if you comment that in the chat, we'll enter you onto the wheel, and we'll spin the wheel in a few minutes' time. We'll give it 5 minutes or so. We'll carry on talking, give you a chance to start putting your answers in. Tom is asking, how are you dealing with the current outdoor temperature when posting corals?
I basically will hold off until it gets above 2 or 3 degrees. I won't post anything out below them temperatures. So this week we started sending stuff out again today, as the temperatures are expected to be a bit warmer over the next couple of days. We've also got deliveries going out tomorrow, but the last week and a half, stuff for that, we haven't posted anything out. But we'll send out things with 48-hour heat packs, and we'll even double them up when it is a bit on the cooler side, just in case, just to make sure we've got plenty of heat in there. They don't overheat as well. They're I use reptile ones, to be honest with you, instead of, I don't know what everyone else uses, but I use reptile ones, and they work really well. I've never had a problem so far, so fingers crossed it'll keep going that way.
Excellent. Okay, right. I'm gonna have to get you guys to just kind of talk with each other for a few minutes while I'm writing down everyone's names and getting them in this wheel. So if you've got any questions, Harry, jump in with them now.
Oh, I'm under pressure now. I can't think of questions.
Questions on the spot. Go on.
We'll put some tense
How long have you been
music on
reefing
for
for,
you.
Harry? Let me ask you some questions.
How long have I been reefing? Gosh, it must be. We've been in this house 6 years. It must be around 10 years. But I couldn't tell you exactly. But I started as most of us did, with tropical or the goldfish, then to tropical, then to marine. My first marine tank probably lasted about 2 weeks. So,
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh. That's disencouraging for people. No, I shouldn't laugh.
Well, the reason is because I bought a second-hand tank and didn't
Right.
decide to test fill it. And I just filled it and noticed it was slowly, less and less water in there. And discovered a nice
wetter carpets.
Yeah. So I held off for a bit thereafter, and then I think from there I went to a fluval. I can't remember what they called it, but it's about a 4-foot freshwater fluval system that I used to run on canisters.
Roma, was it?
Yes, I believe that was the one. Yeah. And I'm not sure what the thinking behind it was, but I had one canister full of mechanical filtration and then another full of biological. So as you can imagine, the biological.
I did exactly the same thing.
Did you? Oh, there you go.
I did exactly, but mine was on a 75-litre tank and I had 2 canister filters on it.
Yeah.
Plus internal as well. I was like, I've got to do this so well. I've got to over filter it.
Yeah, I think you just think the more filtration, the better. I remember as well putting like just in tank filters, just sticking them in the sump, just wherever I can in the display. Just thinking the more the merrier.
Now looking back, you just made nitrate factories.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, this tank, I've always had the opposite problem. It's always run too clean, and I think it's that reef mat along with a decent skimmer. Which, to Tom's advice, actually, I'm now turning off at night. We'll see. I haven't actually tested since doing that, which is probably a mistake. But
to be fair, I've been recommended that. I did a video on TikTok probably about a month or 2 ago, and I was like, I'll tell you a secret about reefing or something. I started off with it. It got everyone engaged. This is the most views I've ever got in a video, and it was talking about the fact that the skimmers and the filter rollers, the gear is just so much better than it used to be. And like they genuinely just clean your tank too much. And like I said, I had a few people say to me, well, why don't you just run your skimmer just a day or turn it off overnight, vice versa, whatever. And I was like, I can't do that. That hurts me too much.
Yeah. My initial reaction as well was a pH. But to be honest, with running, I mean, I pull air from outside into my skimmer. I also have a second skimmer that's kind of a DIY ozone reactor that runs at night anyway. Plus, I've got the calc going in at night, so it's made no difference if any, or little difference if any. Yeah,
I've just plumbed my skimmers out the window as well, out the wall, should we say?
I think if you can, like, it's so worth doing. If you're right next to an external wall, you pay. I don't want to say a wrong figure, but I'm sure it's about 20 quid for one of these drill bits, and
You're out the wall, exactly. Well, I was going to do CO2 scrubbers, but I was speaking to someone, they were like, "Why are you using CO2 scrubbers when you have to pay for the media when you could just drill out your wall?"
Mm.
And then I rang up the shop I used to work at and go, "You got 28 meters of hose."
Yeah,
Did both tanks in one hit. Just like, right,
yeah,
done. Cost me like
nice,
20 quid or whatever.
nice.
So,
So competition's closed. Thank you very much, everyone, for entering. I've put all the names in the list. Have a look. I won't run it just yet. We'll give it another 5 minutes. We'll give everyone a chance to get in the list and just let me know if your name's not in there. I did do a bit of a mix of your actual username and your actual name. So yeah, you're one or the other. If you're in, just have a check, make sure you're in there, and then yeah, in a couple of minutes' time, I'll hit run and we'll see who's won.
and to the winner, if you drop me a message and we'll arrange if you want to collect it, if you want it delivered, anything like that. Just don't message me on this YouTube account because I don't really use it. Find me on TikTok, find me on WhatsApp, Facebook, anything like that. Um, and if you want to be, again, to anyone else, if you want to be added to the WhatsApp group, drop me a message on any of my socials or anything with your phone number or the key in the corals. You can message him and you'll get added to the group. So appreciate everyone for watching and coming tonight and come see what we're all about. So let's give one of you a free coral, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's a click to spin. Right, good luck, everybody.
Good luck, guys. Let's have a look at the Gonis whilst it's spinning. Think you could win.
Oh, so close.
Offshore
There we go.
reefer.
The offshore
Congratulations,
reefer.
buddy.
Yeah.
Well, the new owner of one of these beautiful red Gonis. They've actually got little pinky purple tips on some of them as well. They're really nice. Really nice. And they're good sizes as well. Good chunks. So congratulations. Drop me a message.
Yes, excellent. So let's close that down. Click on the right buttons. There we go. Oh, in a minute. I didn't. Is that the right one? Did I close that? Oh, what's that? Sorry. That wasn't supposed to come up.
Brilliant.
Oh dear.
I was hoping that was your screensaver wallpaper.
But I did get a message from Ron the next day saying, "You bastard." One of my friends messaged me, and that's now the picture that comes up on his phone when I phone him. Oh yeah, does make me laugh. Ben, we talk about sustainability in corals, and where you source, or not maybe not where you source, but how you source and what you source.
Yeah, sure. So I try to get a bit of a mixture in, really. I do get through people who import, but I do also have farmers who are local to me as well. I mean, one of the farms that I use is currently setting up a new setup, and it's absolutely huge. It's got double stacked tanks, with a sump underneath as well, and there's about 8 to 10 systems going in, all 6 foot by 3 foot by 14 inches deep. So he's growing a lot of stuff out. Really good guy. So I'll be getting a lot from him over the next few months, which is really important. There is people out there that do shady things that I've heard of, and I steer very clear of them. There's people that illegally take stuff off the reefs, and I mean, as Jackie put in the chat a little while ago, I saw about how the Great Barrier Reef's being destroyed and stuff. Ultimately, if we want this hobby to be sustainable, we need to do things the right way, um, and source our corals from the right places. I mean, we're getting there with the fish now. A lot more are being sort of bred in captivity and stuff, and we've all got tanks. We can all grow coral. Why don't you just cut it up and sell it to each other? Do you know what I mean? Instead of taking it from someone. There's plenty of coral in the country, so
Yeah.
there's no reason really to import. But at the same time, I understand why people do it. You know, um, but ultimately, if it's sourced the right way, and it's obviously you get a lot of the ocean grown stuff as well, which is good um, for rebuilding reefs and everything, bringing loads of fauna back to the areas and stuff that may not have had it before. But yeah, no, generally I try to get as much as I can from farms as opposed to or even local people. If people are shutting down tanks, or if people are, people will message me sometimes and say, "Oh, I've got this growing wild in my tank. Do you want it? Do you want to buy it off me? Whatever." and I can either sell it through my group for them or things like that. So, there's a lot of places to get corals from. You don't need to be going to the wild necessarily.
Excellent. So I've just sorry, I looked a little bit distracted because I was a little bit distracted. Apart from Ron trying to get everyone to send me obscene pictures, Harry messaged me and has generously offered to do a little giveaway on one of those frag racks. So
Ooh.
I will let me just get this up again and put that on that screen. Share my screen. Which one was it, Harry?
There we are. You're on it. One of
This
the
one?
last ones. Yeah.
That one there.
Any
Yeah.
colour,
Okay.
whatever they want.
Okay. So we're going to do another giveaway. And what? Go on, Harry. Set a question for everyone.
Oh, I don't know, because a lot of questions they don't have categorical answers in the hobby, at least.
What's the first name of the spiritual reefer? There you go. If you comment that in the chat, we'll put you in a wheel.
Yeah,
It can't get much easier than that.
I did just have to check my screen to see. It's been good chatting with you guys tonight. I've had a good time.
Yeah, good.
Appreciate you for having us on.
No, we talked about it so long ago. So
We did. It's before Christmas, I think, wasn't it?
yeah, it was long. It was quite. Well, it wasn't actually long after Aqua, I don't think.
No. It might have even been when I was setting up. You might have said, "Oh, when you get it sorted, we'll do it." I can't remember. It might have been then. It might be the next time I met you.
I think you were really, really new, and I said, "Well, we'll get you on the live stream when you've had a chance to."
Oh, and then I think I messaged you, and then you just had Kurt on, hadn't you, from the King of Corals? So we were going to give it a couple of weeks, and then we probably both forgot a little bit.
Yeah. Right. So I'm going to start. I'll get you guys to chat with each other again. I'm going to start copying entries over, and then in a minute or two, I'll close the competition again. So,
Ben, what does the future of Ben's Corals look like? What's the plan? You said you're possibly not going to go to a store.
But there is also a possibility to go to a store as well, to be honest with you. There is a possibility. I mean, there's been something that's in the pipeline a little bit, but it's kind of based on see how this goes, I'll be honest, my old man always said to me he wants to get a shop to retire with. And then when I started working in a shop, he actually tried to buy it a couple of times. And he was like, just, you know what, actually, you learn the industry, learn everything and that, like that side of it. And then we'll do it together one day. So hopefully one day me and my old man will have a shop together. That is the sort of plan. But at the minute, I'm still doing my electrical as an electrician, so that'll fund it hopefully. One day.
When you say you won the lottery tomorrow, what would your store look like? What would make it kind of different to anyone else's?
I mean, it would be a coral shop. It wouldn't be a marine shop. It'd be a coral shop. It'd just be tables of acros, tables of hammers, tables of, I would just have everything, every different coral you could get. I'd have it. I wouldn't care about the money. I'd just be like, guys, I've got it. Come get it. If I'd won enough money, you know what I mean? I wouldn't even, it would just be about showing it off. I'd almost have a museum of coral. Do you know what I mean?
Nice.
I've kind of thought about this a couple of times. I'd like to sort of do a scape, which is just more showing off coral really than anything else. Almost like a frag rack system, but more natural looking. Just as a nice coral display. And I think that could do really well. And especially with, like we were talking about a minute ago, of conservation and everything. If you had like a coral museum or something like that, I know you get obviously aquariums and stuff, but I feel like it'd be really important for the restoration of reefs and stuff, because you're not growing it to sell it, you're growing it just to display it. You can give bits back to the ocean, you can share it out in the hobby. And it teaches people about the importance of what is out there, because you go look at videos of the coral reef and stuff, and it's vibrant, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't look anything like what we've got here. Obviously, people don't really realize what is down there, and we don't still. There's a lot of the ocean, obviously, we don't know about, but I think it's an important message to get across, and I think the colours do help with that. Showing people that these vibrant things are natural. They are a living creature. They're just there out there, and we're killing them. You know. But yeah, I'd like to do something like that. I'd just have everything, every coral, one of each.
Or it sounds like somewhere we'd all like to visit.
Oh, I'd do the meetups there all the time. Everyone come down.
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone gets a goodie bag with one thing.
So does everyone want to have a little, yeah, I've already seen one that I messed up. Anyway, have a little look at the list, make sure you're all in there. And yeah, if not, speak up and I'll wait a couple of minutes and then we'll spin this one as well. And thank you very much, Harry of, let me get the banner up again, Harry of Marine Spec and Spiritual Reefer, or, you know, his alter ego.
Spiritual Reacher.
It's always so loud as well.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I'm glad you
Yeah,
got
no,
it
these
working.
ones are really good for when you're kind of acclimating a new coral and you just need somewhere near the sand. You can pop it for a little while, and then once I've sorted my kind of magnet situation now, making sure they're extremely stupidly waterproof, and then I'll have kind of all your magnetic ones that you can then obviously move up the glass.
So I've got a guy that does a bit of 3D printing for me, and he's like, "Why don't you use some stuff with magnets?" And I'm like, "Nope, not taking the gamble, not playing."
These magnets are 2 years in the making. I've tried
Wow.
every which way. So
Wow, good
I'm
stuff.
quite
No,
confident.
that's what you need. Do you know what I mean? We need people that are innovating in a way that, you know, we can trust. You know, they're putting the products through the tests. They're not just,
Yeah.
"Here you go, I've made this, start on eBay for 13 quid. Brilliant," you know, and then nukes your tank in a week. Yeah, you need innovators.
So let me just double check. So I know Sean's with us. Sean Acroman, Successful Reef Aquariums. Evening, Sean. How you doing? Now
Great
I
man.
had someone
See his tank.
say. So Shane Lee Ray said I've missed them. So I'm just going to go up and see whether they. I thought I'd got everyone. So Shane Lee Ray, if you can tell me the Spiritual Reefer's first name in the chat, I'll add you in. No? Okay.
You missed the Goni one, Shane. That's what you're on about.
There we go. We got it. We got it. Harry, I'll add. Right. Let's click spin then. Good luck, everyone.
They look nice, them frag rates, to be fair. I'm going to have a look through your website in a little while. Oh, Paul, yes.
Oh, there you go.
Well done, Paul. You glad you came now, aren't you, mate?
Paul, pop me a message on Instagram, which is just marine.spec, I believe. If not, Spiritual Reefer Instagram or TikTok. I think I'm on there as Spiritual Reefer as well. If not, pop me a message through the website or something. And get that out to you.
Excellent. Right.
Lucky guys tonight, eh?
Yes, yeah, a little surprise competition in there as well. Yeah. Very much again, both of you. It's great to have some giveaways for everyone.
Yeah.
Let me go back to my notes. What else were we going to talk about? So I guess really it's opening up the floor to everyone in the chat. I know we have kind of pulled in a few comments as they've popped up and everything. But just if anyone else has got any questions in the chat that they wanted to ask any one of us, now's your opportunity. And I mean, I don't know if you can give us another close up of your stock tank, Ben.
Yeah, sure. We just turn flow pumps off as well.
And while you're doing that, if anyone does fancy joining the Reefy AF Discord, there is the link there. I'm just going to see, because I was really hoping that we could get it to 150 while we were on the live, and we're still at 149 members.
Perhaps I'll join as Marine Spec as well as Marine.
If I had Discord, I'd be straight on it. So unfortunately, everything's starting to close up for the night now, but
Yeah,
some things. This is a real nice torch. It's got a lot of green at the base as well. Can't really see it on camera, but it's pretty special. We've got Acan Lords, some candy canes at the back, Acan Echinatas, more chalices than you could shake a stick at. Plenty of Gonis, plenty of softies. I say plenty. I want to get some more softies in. I'm trying to get hold of a few nice sellers at the minute, guys, that I can hopefully grow out and do for some good prices. So hopefully that will work out in my favour.
So we have got some questions coming in now. Sean is asking Harry, what type of camera should I buy for making some decent reefy content?
It's difficult to give a kind of single answer, if you like. Just obviously price varies quite a lot and things like that. I like Lumix cameras for videos. Not an overly popular choice, if I'm honest. I think most people or most videographers like to use like Sony cameras. What I will say though is the majority of money should go on a lens. The camera body isn't quite as important. Most cameras now within the last few years will do 4K. But if the choice is between 4K with a cheap lens versus 1080p with a good expensive prime lens meaning it doesn't zoom in and out, you tend to get slightly better focal quality with them. But again, if you are on a budget, a zoom lens can be really handy for you as well. Then just a Tiffin orange filter can help. I sometimes find though that you can get, I'm still learning filming the tank. Tanks aren't usually what I'm filming. So yeah, I'm used to, I'm not used to filming the tank. Yes, so I find that adjusting the light levels can actually be better. Or a nice bit of orange acrylic as a...
That works brilliantly.
But yeah, have a look at the Lumix lineup. Perhaps a second-hand like GH5 could be quite a good option. So that's a Lumix GH5. That's a micro four thirds camera, meaning that the focal lengths of the lenses aren't quite true to what they are on the lens. So bear that in mind. Have a look at that. But yeah, just research on YouTube, learn about cameras, and you'll soon realize it's less about the specific camera and more about how you're using it. Yeah, in a nutshell.
Excellent.
Have you got a decent underwater camera, Harry?
No, I just use, I mean, I don't believe any of my videos yet show top-down views, but I have got some nice top-down shots using the, I can't remember what it is. It's got Zoas on the side of it, but it's a top-down view. I've got it from AAC, and that just works nicely for me. I debated getting one of these waterproof camera shells, but I did not realise they were about £2,000-3,000 just in case the camera, and that's soon shut that down.
I've got one at Reef Exotics, and his photos always look so good. I'm just like, I can't afford that yet.
Yeah, they do look good.
Drop my phone.
Oops.
Fell off
As long as it didn't land in the tank.
I was going to say,
no, very close. It hit me on the head, but it fell off the tripod. It's good. We're still alive.
So Reefing at Home asks, what's the one thing that doesn't exist that you wish did? World peace.
Oh, I thought we were talking about reef tanks.
Oh yeah, I mean it wasn't that specific. So. An infinite wallet.
No, I want a Red Sea product which links with my doser, which automatically tests. That is the goal for me. So it can test the alkalinity, calcium, and everything. Excuse me. Yeah, just something to make me testing a little bit more straightforward, dosing and all that. You know, that's my personal thing anyway. I'm just don't have time for it all.
Yeah. Okay. And then the next one's probably the most important question. And I'm not sure whether we can leave it and not answer it. I think we really need to get an answer for this one. Harry, when's the tank tour?
There it is. Have a look.
Let me back to the other room.
So on the
would do a
Discord
tank
channel.
tour. I would do a tank tour.
Excellent. Ron's licking the end of his pencil now, getting ready to write down the date.
Ron, pop me a message. We'll sort a date. I'll do a tank tour with or without Aptasia. It's not going anytime soon. No one wants me Ras, so I've got to get rid of that first.
Excellent. Yeah, looking forward to seeing that. So Ben, you probably don't know, but on the Discord channel, we have regular meetups. So there's one's called Salty Banter, which is just chatting a load of nonsense. They're very not safe for work. There's a reason it's called Reefy AF. But they're an absolute laugh. Everyone's really good in it. But we also have tank tours where people, and it's not only if you've got this amazing tank, you know, any type of tank, we just kind of love it. Gives us all, you always pick something up from each tank you look at. There's always something new or some idea that you've not thought of or seen before. So it's really good to kind of get into them, and everyone kind of does one. Harry's been putting it off and putting it off. So
Agonizing was a bit, is he?
Yeah. Matt was saying that we kind of bullied him into agreeing to do one. So now he's like wanting to push the same pressure on Harry.
Well, maybe I'll have to hop in and do one as well at some point.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. Like I say, it's a really good community. There's a really diverse group of people from the US. And we've got Melinda from Australia as well. You know, and everyone's really good in it. So it's really worth hopping on.
Yeah. I'll have to do it like, other than like today. I mean, I've kind of done something quite bad here. I've realised I adjusted all my flow yesterday, so nothing's really looking great. So I'm not trying to show off my tank too much, to be honest. Everything, all my torches are normally like touching. They're so puffy and big, but they're a little bit upset by this, I think.
Yeah.
It's all because I added these frog spawns.
Yeah, okay. Reefy Reese is saying there's no excuse that you haven't got Discord. It's really easy to download.
I have got an account somewhere. I just haven't got it. Oh, so I'll figure it out. I'll get on there. Send me a link on WhatsApp or something. I'll hop on afterwards.
Yeah. Excellent. Offshore Reacher. Oh, God. No. I was determined not to do that. The Offshore Reefer said he'll have the Goni at the front.
Yeah, no worries, mate. It's a nice big one, that is. No problem, bud. I always give out the biggest ones first, to be honest, anyway. First come, first serve. Got to get in there quick, boys and girls.
Yeah. Any more questions? I'm just scanning through. That was the very strange request from Tom.
I was waiting for that.
That's very strange.
What is the request?
It says, Harry, would you shave off your hair for charity and sing a duet with me? I'm too sexy for my tank.
Message me, Tom, and we'll talk about it.
We'll talk dates. Oh dear. Let me carry it. Isn't Tom with hair? That'd be awesome. Yeah. Lots of comments now about the about the duet. Yeah. As John says,
Reaper wins a lot.
So normally it's Ryan's Reef. He has like the world's fastest internet connection. So on all the quizzes where it's the first person with the right answer, he normally wins those.
Oh, right.
On the Reefers Network, because I know you were asking me about the Reefers Network. Tom, I can't remember now. Is it Murph's Reef, Drippy, yourself, and is it Ron? I can't remember. On Friday night, maybe drop it in the comments or something. So Friday night, 8 p.m. till 10ish, same kind of slot as this, but on a Friday night. They have a live stream with the Reefers Network, and there's one on Sunday mornings from 10 a.m. as well. Again, you know, much hilarity, some reefing talk, but generally it's like getting together with mates after you've done it a few times. It's really good fun. But yeah, as John says, the Discord and the tank tours, it's not about who's got the best tank. It's just a group of reefers. It's much the same thing. It's a group of reefers just getting together and having a chat. Yeah.
I mean, one thing I'll say about, like, I always go back to this, is reefing is like, it's like art. So art is subjective, right? Everyone's got their own tank, everyone loves their tank, and everyone does their own thing. And you could do a million different variations of it and variations, and each is just as beautiful as the next to the beholder. So I like them sort of groups where everyone can show their tanks and you get different ideas, and you know, it's just a nice thing to do, really. We work hard to build these tanks, but let's be honest, a lot of time, if you don't have guests or anything, who are you showing them to? You know,
Yeah.
only people that actually care about them is people that are in the hobby. So it's good to have groups like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I tried to grow my group up, is somewhere just people can come have a chat. Like, although I'm a shop and I sell corals, I say to people, look, if you've got frags you've done from your own tank, if you're not buying stuff to sell it, but if you've got frags from your own tank, chuck it in the community chat and sell it. You know, it doesn't bother me. I'd rather people just have a good time, a safe space, and you know, can share what they want to share.
Yeah. Excellent. I say I have angered the offshore reefer.
Oh no,
I'm not getting any oil this week, that's for sure. Oh, it was bound to happen, wasn't it? What else have we got? Any other comments? Reefers Network. No, nothing else in there.
Lee's asked me to get rid of the man bum, he said, but I think he's forgetting that this is 50% of my personality. Right.
I missed that comment. Unless I haven't got to it yet. Oh, and we've got
to Mr. Pockets and Reef, Shane. Hello, mate. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, and we've got Zach, who is if I'm getting the right Zach here, runs a reef shop in the US. Can't remember what state. Sorry. I know Ron tells us every time. I still can't remember. One day it will sink in and I will remember. So Zach's with us as well. Donate all the money to charity and shave it off live. Zach's in the baboon asses in Discord. So what you did miss, Zach, as I introduced all of those pictures onto the camera as selfies from those people. Anything else? Michigan, Tom's saying. So yes, you got it right. Excellent. So Michigan. Anything else either of you want to talk about tonight?
Don't believe so.
Ben? Oh, his screen looks like it might have frozen, so I don't know if Ben's still with us. Not sure. But yeah, if you've had fun, hit that like button. If you're not already, hit subscribe. It all really helps. I just enjoy having a bit of a laugh with everyone. So thank you very much for tuning in. We try and do one every week at this time. So if you fancy trying next week and seeing what we're up to next week, we don't do competitions every week, but we try to have a laugh every week. Feel free to join us again. Check out Spiritual Reefer, some fantastic content on his YouTube channel. Very different from what a lot of other people do. So you bring your own kind of very zen, very calm mindfulness approach to what you do as well. I think that's really good. Check out the Reefers Network. Like I said, live streams on Fridays and Sundays. And if you're not already, check out the Discord, Reefy AF Discord. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. And I'll see you again in another video really soon.
Thanks.